Plus on via television. I am Deborah Ndukaife. The Presidential Petition Election Court has adjourned to Tuesday, July 4th, the hearing of the defense filed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The court on June 23rd fixed Monday, July 3rd for respondents to open their case in defense of the petition filed by aggrieved parties challenging the outcome of the February 25th election wherein Bola Tinubu emerged as the president. According to schedule, the Electoral Commission was built to advance their argument against the petition filed by the Labour Party and the presidential election Peter Obi. During Monday's proceedings, counsel for INEC, A.B. Mahmood San, informed the court that the commission had billed 3 witnesses to give their testimonies in aid of their defense. However, he said that the witness who was scheduled to testify was unavoidably absent from the court. The absence of Chief Magistrate Adeola Olatunbosun of the Yaba Magistrate Court has further stalled the trial of Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti. The Registrar Babalola, in the absence of the Chief Magistrate Olatunbosun, adjourned the case till September 27, 2023 for the continuation of the proceeding. Magistrate Olatunbosun was said to have resumed her administrative leave and was thus absent in court. The defendant was charged with assault on a police officer, an offense contrary to Section 356 of the Nigerian Criminal Code Act. Meanwhile, on May 24th, Magistrate Olatunbosun, in her ruling, stated that the police cannot be the complainant and also the prosecutor of the case. She therefore requested the DPP's advice to continue the prosecution. Now, the National Industrial Court has ordered the Police Service Commission, PSC, to pay 40 million naira to Mbu Joseph Mbu, a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG. The Judge Obaseki Ogsage ruled that the retirement of Mbu through a press release in 2016 was unlawful and unconstitutional. In July 2016, the PSC announced that the retirement of Mbu and 20 officers who ranked higher than Ibrahim Idris, then the Inspector General of Police. Idris was appointed on June 21, 2016, following the retirement of Solomon Arase, who clocked the mandatory age of 60. In her ruling, the judge nullified the retirement of the claimant and ruled that Mbu remained an officer of the Nigerian Police Force until he attained the mandatory retirement age of 60 on May 10, 2018. And the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has revealed that Nigeria lost 14 pilgrims in Saudi Arabia from the beginning of ongoing 2023 Hajj operation to date. The Chief of Operations and Head of the NACON National Medical Team, Dr. Usman Galadima, made this known during a post-Arafat meeting with stakeholders in Makkah, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Galadima explained that 7 pilgrims died before Arafat, 6 died during the 5-day Mashar, and additional 1 person died after the Arafat. He also revealed that the medical team recorded 3 cases of chickenpox during the core Hajj period, and affected pilgrims were immediately moved out of the area as a preventive measures to avoid the spread of the disease. Galadima emphasized the need for a thorough pre-Hajj medical screening with the issuance of a medical certificate. The National Youth Service Corps NYC says forgers of 8 discharge or exemption certificates risk jail term, option of fine, or both as penalties. The Director of Legal Services, Ahmed Ibrahim, said this in Abuja during the 2023 Legal Officers Capacity Building Training. According to Ibrahim, the NYC Act contains all the infractions that people should know about. The infractions are many, like forging the NYC certificates. Ibrahim also said some attended the orientation camps with forged documents, and when such persons are caught, they were arrested by the police for prosecution. He said true such cases are bound in court, that the exact number could not be determined, adding that they were being followed up. We'll be going on a quick break, and when we come back, News Plus continues. Stay tuned.
you came round, my heart would never be much.
The story of a charmer and his crush.
Before you came round, I was ready to slow down. Before you came round, I was heading for a small disaster. Before you came round, I was ready to blow me down.
Tat Fragrance, the new luxury fragrance for men and women.
Welcome back. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has announced that diphtheria, a serious and very contagious disease, has broken out in Abuja. The announcement was made at a press conference addressed by the Director of Public Health, Dr. Sadiq Abdurrahman. He called on residents of the FCT to immediately take the pentavalent vaccine to break the spread of the disease, which he explained is an infection of the nose and throat that is easily preventable by the vaccine. A patient with diphtheria experiences a sheet of thick gray matter covering the back of the throat, making breathing hard. Abdurrahman further explained that a 4-year-old child has died in Dede district of the FCT out of the 8 cases recorded. The Nigeria Data Protection Commission (NDPC) says it will now hold chief executives of government ministries, agencies, and departments responsible for any data breach that occurs under their watch. Speaking in a chat with newsmen on the implementation of the Nigeria Data Protection Act, the National Commissioner of the NDPC, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, said the individuals heading the MDAs will be sanctioned because the government cannot be made to pay fine into its coffers. This is even as he disclosed that the level of compliance with data protection law by MDAs has just increased to 9% from 4% last year. While the Commission has been sanctioning private companies under the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, no government agency has been fined even while there are concerns that they are the most culpable when it comes to data breaches. And now the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has certified that Golden Penny Semovita and other semolina products do not contain plastic or any similar contaminants. The agency said this in response to a social media video showing a woman washing Golden Penny Semovita in a sieve using cold water with the claim that the residue she got after sieving was plastic. NAFDAC noted that a similar video was shown in 2020, which the agency had addressed at the time. NAFDAC Director General Moji Adeyeye, in a statement, said the agency confirmed that the claim was not true after an appropriate analytical testing in its internationally accredited laboratories. The agency added that Semovita contained the expected components plus the required vitamin A, describing the claim in the viral video as misleading. And residents of Trademore Estate, located along the Lugbe Airport axis of the FCT, are protesting the planned demolition of the estate by the FCT administration. The planned demolition follows the catastrophic flood incident in the estate after heavy rainfall in the early hours of Friday, the 23rd of June. Recall that the administration had declared the estate a disaster zone, adding that the decision followed the consistent and persistent threat from flooding in the estate and urged residents to promptly evacuate. Residents, however, came out protesting, calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration to rather provide engineering solutions than demolish houses. Some of the residents held placards that read, "Provide engineering solutions not roadside approach. Trademore Estate is not a disaster zone, and many other inscriptions. The United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, says Nigeria will need to build no fewer than 3.9 million toilets annually to meet the ending opening defecation practice by 2025 target. UNICEF Chief of Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, Dr. Jane Bevan, said this at the opening of a 2-day Maiden Toilet Business Owners Conference in Abuja. Bevan said that current toilet reconstruction in the country stood between 180,000 to 200,000 toilets annually, describing it as inadequate. She said the conference was timely as toilet business owners were key to ending open defecation challenges in Nigeria. According to her, there is the need to do different things by creating demand for toilets, adding that private sector could play huge roles for sustainability and strengthening sanitation markets in the country.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm at the Envoy Hotel, Diplomatic Drive 305, here for a business weekend. It's been an amazing stay. Conference hall and business facilities here are stylish and innovative. The Envoy Hotel is luxury, esoteric, opulence, for ultimate comfort.
Discerning travelers, we are more than just a place to stay. We are an icon of comfort, style, and thoughtful luxury. We are Envoy Hotel.
Iluzie soluno akona biri inaja kwala inakwaje kama yana no wono okungwali boy katienti Iluzie bulo onyome bezina niko okungwali boy katienti jabo Iluzie wolo na Mwane mebe Onya mebe zinani po Ogazi amaka wajina gomo Ogazi amaka wajina Osili onyama Mkengeni jine Ekeke na lojika isabalo Aji ashagata na mulu benu aji azalebe benu azadebe na ya mu obi amuze no tini mo azadebe mo namo na mane me bene namo.
And now on international, South Africa's largest opposition party has teamed up with 6 small groups to build a coalition aimed at ousting the long-ruling ANC in next year's election, they announced on Monday. The Democratic Alliance, which has a fifth of the seats in parliament, is in the forefront of the plan. The initiative does not include the third largest party, the radical leftist Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF. The leaders of the 7 parties will hold what they dubbed historic talks on August 16 and 17 in Johannesburg to map out a common vision for a new government. The governing African National Congress, which has been in power for nearly 3 decades, is facing growing discontent fueled by a sickly economy, entrenched unemployment, worsening inequality, and an electricity crisis. It suffered record losses in the 2021 municipal elections, the first time in the democratic era. Its support dipped below half of the ballots cast nationally. And Pope Francis said the burning of the Muslim holy book, the Quran, has made him angry and disgusted as he condemned and rejected permitting the act as a form of freedom of speech. Recall that a man tore up and burned a Quran in Sweden's capital, Stockholm, last week, resulting in strong condemnation from several states, including Turkey, whose back in Sweden needs to gain entry to the NATO military alliance. While Swedish people have rejected several recent applications for anti-Quran demonstrations, courts have overruled those decisions, saying they infringe freedom of speech. On Sunday, an Islamic grouping of 57 states said collective measures are needed to prevent acts of desecration to the Quran, and international law should be used to stop religious hatred. Thousands of Israelis blocked traffic and snarled movement at the country's main international airport, the latest mass demonstration over Benjamin Netanyahu's contentious planned judicial overhaul that has divided the nation. The Netanyahu's government push to pass several overlapping reforms to the country's judiciary have plunged Israel into an unprecedented crisis and divided an already highly polarized country. Protesters waving Israel's blue and white national flag and blowing on horns blocked the main thoroughfare outside Ben Gurion's airport main terminal and demonstrated inside the arrival halls. Police said officers arrested at least 4 people to the public disturbance. Netanyahu and his ultra-nationalist and ultra-Orthodox political allies are pressing ahead with plans to pass several contentious changes to Israel's judicial system after attempts to reach a compromise with opposition lawmakers disintegrated. Israeli lawmakers have approved advancing a bill to a preliminary vote that will allow for minors under the age of 14 who are convicted of terrorist-related offenses, including murder or manslaughter, to be jailed. The bill stipulates that the severity with which we see terrorism and terrorist acts which exact a toll on life and property, and the fact that these acts of terror are also carried out by minors, requires a severe approach. According to Hertz, it comes after a similar temporary order expired 3 years ago, which permitted Israelis authorities to imprison children over the age of 14 accused of murder. The bill's explanatory text states that it proposes to turn the unextended temporary order into a permanent one while limiting it to only manslaughter offenses committed in the course of acts of terror, but also expanding it in the sense that the court may sentence a minor under 14. And that's all on News Plus. Many thanks for watching. I am Deborah Ndukaifi. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.